Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and it's week 8 of my challenge, or the challenge should I say. Nice bright day out there, but we have got snow, and I've heard from several friends in Texas that they're having some severe problems with weather and electricity and everything else, so heart goes out to you guys. Hopefully when I visit next time you'll have some fun stories to tell me, but in the meantime stay warm. And I hope it all works out for you. So let's work on this one. Today, week 8. Let's have a quick look at the prompts as we normally do. And then we'll do a little bit of show and tell before we actually go through these. So there's week 8. Now, I thought what would be nice today is I've been talking about the workshop I was going to be teaching on the 21st of February. So I want to make sure that you're going to see it first. I'm teaching a 2-hour workshop, which is an introduction to mixed media, which is a live streamed workshop, which unfortunately by the time you see this, it will have come and gone, but I'll give you an update on how it went. So I've designed some MDF picture frames that look like beach huts, and this is what the students will learn. The first one will be one of these, and as I've told the students, these are great. They can go into a children's bedroom, they could go into a bathroom, you could put magnets on the back of them, you could put them on the fridge, you could put a photograph in them. So there you go, that's who's speaking, that's me. That's a dear friend of mine, Lucy, who I think she's 9 years old now, and that's Tracy, one of the dancers I used to work with many years ago when I was a professional dancer. See the next two. I wanted to keep with bright colours and gardens, and I just wanted the whole workshop to be bright coloured. Now this is done with air dried clay, these modelled pieces, and then they can be painted afterwards. And then the last one we're doing, because we're doing 4 of them, this is actually sadly gone from our lives now, is our dog Josh, German Shepherd, and oh, such a big teddy bear and a clown. Love those ears, love that dog. But it's going after the workshop. This one's going to be the one that's going to be on my fridge, just to remind me. So there you go. Not that I need reminding. Josh will always be in our memories. So I've come right back to the collage now. So on here, let's have a look and see what I sorted out. Herb or fragrant plants. So went through my clippings and I found, I believe that's lavender. That's lavender. I think that's rosemary. I would say that's possibly lavender. That looks like lavender. That's just a plant, and that's bit. I like that for corner pieces. So I'm sure I can pull something together with this. That's one good thing. What was the next bit? Handwriting. Now, so far I haven't actually used digitals anywhere, but this digital came in a pack of ephemera. I'm going to forget now. Not a pack of ephemera. It was a journal signature kit I ordered. I want to say it was from Rachel and Bella, but I'm not sure that this is their digital. There's no name on it, no identification. So unfortunately, I can't give credit where credit's due. But if this is your digital, please mention it in the comments below and put the link into it because it's a lovely digital. Let's pull that there. So that's what I'm using for handwriting. What's next on here? Ink. Now, ink. Let's see. What did I want to do with ink? I'm going to do the obvious. I'm actually going to stencil some ink onto the page. I was going to do some ink splatters and let the runs down, but I thought, oh, this is my planner, and will I get it wrong and will it all go pear-shaped? So I thought I'd avoid doing that. Circles. Okay, circles had to be slightly tricky with circles. Found an image of an apple pie, and I thought, you know what? We put herbs and spices into that. And then I found these pictures of paint tins, and this has got an illustration in the background. So I'm going to do something with these. I thought that'd be quite cute. Not sure whether the apple pie is going to be in it, but definitely the circles will be. What was next on here? An illustration. Well, pages of a book that have got illustrations in them. I thought these are quite small. They might work as accent pieces, even if I just use a little bits here and there, just to add a little something in there, because the little herb bottles I've got with herbs are quite large. A key was the bonus, and we know I'm trying to do all of them. So what I'm going to do is there's a key rubber stamp here, or a key clear stamp here, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use archival coffee because I don't want it to be too dominant, and I'm going to stamp a couple of keys directly onto my collage when I'm ready to do that. So I didn't really want to put a real key in here, and I didn't want to take a photograph of a key. I thought, let's do something different. Also, that's ink, and ink is one of the criteria. So again, if I move this up to the top corner by the number 15 on my mat, I think we're okay. Let's pull in the regular things I work with. I've lost some power of speech. This is going to be a great one, guys. Now, let's put on the timer, and remember the timer's not a record. It's not here as a challenge time-wise. It just helps me keep on track. So, right, let's start with some background stuff. I think I want to come straight in and put in some of the handwriting stuff. Now let's take the white edges off this. I should have done this before we started. My apologies, I didn't think that far ahead. So it takes a few seconds, or it would if you were doing it correctly, and I'm obviously not holding my tear ruler down correctly. Let's go right across the top here. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't used the digitals in my collage so far. I mean, they're the obvious choice. Thing is, I tend to do collage a lot with magazine clippings, if you've seen, and bits of art and stuff like that. So I don't naturally pull towards using a digital. I would use a digital for use in a journal. However, I don't know, I just don't seem to reach for it when it comes to doing this bit of collage. I also think the other thing is too, I'm always so conscious of copyright that if I use a digital for anything, I'm always worried, oh, am I going to be able to sell that? Am I going to be able to use it for maybe something I'm doing in my Etsy shop? So I've got into the habit of pretty much not using digitals other than in physical things that I will sell. Right, that's going back into the box. I tore this really badly, so let's just tidy that up a bit, and to the white off the bottom of it. So I have a feeling that this is going to get filled up really quickly, this page. I quite like that. I've noticed I always start there, so let's start over there. Let's do something different this week. What else do I want to bring? I wanted to bring in some of these because I liked these. These appealed to me. Actually, let's move you up a bit because I think this appeals to me even more than that. I think if I put that across the corner, pretty much down the edge actually, that will just give me a really nice corner piece. And as we know, I'm probably going to put stuff right over the top of these anyway. Let's come across here with this. Sorry if I'm not on screen for all of the tearing, but I'm sure you've seen tearing before. Do I want that there? I might want that there. That feels wrong there. It feels like it needs to be up there. If that's up there, I want it. Ooh, dithering again. Curiouser and curiouser. I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom of this, just to where that postage stamp is, and do that. And now I've cut it too short. But that's fine, I've got plenty more to go on this page. And I can take this a little bit here and maybe pop that up there. Okay, that's feeling like a start of something. That's quite nice up in that corner. Let's clear the rubbish to one side. Right, what else did I need to put on here? I think I'm going to use some of these as illustrations. Not as illustrations, they are illustrations, but some of these illustrations to put into here. Well, that tore almost on its own. So let's lift that up out of the way. As I said, it's snowing here, not very heavily. Thank goodness we're not as bad as some parts of Britain at the moment who are really snowed in. There's flooding happening again, and I always feel sorry for people with flooding, because I think there's nothing more destructive than water, because you just can't control it. It will go where it wants to go, and sadly, when you're flooded, everything floods. I mean, you're talking water is contaminated, the sewerage is floating around. It's just it doesn't bear thinking about. It doesn't bear thinking about to me anyway. Thank goodness, and knock on wood, because this is a wooden table, I've never had to experience that. I've been saved from that. I'm quite lucky in that. I can't imagine what being flooded would be like. It would just destroy everything, I feel. I'm wondering, I think I've got enough of that for the moment. I'm looking at big spaces here and looking around. Oh, I've still got the paints to go, and I've still got the pie to go as well. I'm quite liking that. Let's just take the edges off this. Let's see if we can do this without destroying the image itself. So I'm quite excited because, let's see, what is the date today? I can't remember what the date is. It's the 17th today, so this coming weekend is the weekend they said they're going to fix my Wi-Fi. So I'm hoping the next video that I actually make of this collage, I will have been able to look back and get a few hellos out to you guys to actually see how you're doing, where you're all based, where you are in the world. I mean, I'm really excited about that. I'm very excited about that, actually. So it'll be nice. I won't feel like I'm just collaging to a camera and no one else. So also, putting my collages up will actually mean that I feel like I belong to this challenge at last, because, as you know, I've been doing it, trusting that it's going to one day be seen, but it feels a little bit peculiar just to be collaging away and then not really knowing whether anyone's ever going to see it. So let's see, put that across there. I might put that across there, actually. I think we're getting to the stage where I probably need to stick some stuff down in a minute. In fact, I think we'll do that next. Because I always find it's great to layer and layer and layer, but then I forget where I put stuff. And so when it comes to sticking it down, I've got to take it all off and rebuild it all. And I don't always put it in the same place. I'm notoriously bad for doing that. So let's start up there in that corner. There is rumour here in Britain that the government is going to start announcing, I think they're calling it a roadmap of our way out of isolation, which I can tell you now I will be sorely welcome of, and I think the whole rest of us will be. But what that roadmap is going to look like, I don't really know. I can't imagine they're going to go, right, everyone back to school, all the pubs and all the bars and restaurants, cafes are open again. I can't imagine it's going to be that. It's going to have to be a gradual, let the kids go back to school, let the smaller businesses open again, because they must be hurting big time, the small businesses. I hope it all starts to come round, because we're coming up on a year's anniversary of this virus now, and something needs to be done. If it can't be done by now, then what hope have we got, really? Yeah, it's got to be coming to a point where we're bound to find a way forward. I mean, I'm excited that quite a few of my friends have actually had the vaccine now. They may not have had both doses of it, but they've definitely had one dose of it. Still waiting for my doctor to call me and say I can go and have it, but I don't mind. I mean, as long as I can see people around me having it, that gives me a bit of hope that, yes, we're all going to get through this okay. So let's put that one there. I need a clean sheet of paper for this one. So there you go. So I'm not sure. I mean, I've obviously got friends around the world because of my travels and work. I've heard from quite a few people that in America they are vaccinating, but that it's not being done fast enough. But then just the sheer logistics of vaccinating America. I mean, I just don't know how well, my brain doesn't function like that. I don't know how a government would find a means to actually doing the entire country. And that's a big ask. That's a very big ask. I mean, it's doable. I mean, I was reading something the other day, and if I get this wrong, please forgive me. I'm not the greatest to memory. But apparently when there was a flu epidemic in America many, many years ago, they managed to inoculate 5 million people in a week or something. I'm like, they must have just shot them or something. I don't know how the heck you can vaccinate that many people in a week. But then maybe they did. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was literally line up, bare your arm, and in the injection goes. I mean, I don't know historically how they did it, but at least we're all moving forward, and I'm feeling positive about that. I'm feeling a lot more uplifted that we actually do have. I don't say we have an end in sight, because I'm not sure we do have an end in sight yet, but I do think we have a plan to come out of this in sight, if that makes sense. Just knowing that there's the potential for a way forward. Maybe that's a better way for me to word it. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm not sure. I mean, I know quite a few of my lot are going, oh, we can book a holiday, we can go abroad again now. I mean, I think it's going to be a while before I feel comfortable flying again. I want some guarantees put into life about how airlines are actually going to cope with flight and virus, and that there's a lot to be considered, and I really want to feel safe. I mean, I'm an asthmatic. I don't want to be at risk just because I want to go and visit people in America or because I have to travel for work. I want to make sure I'm as safe as I can, and I think that's a natural thing for everybody. So never mind. So let's change the subject slightly. So what's next on the list? We've had Valentine's. What's next on this? We've got hurtling towards us at a great speed. We've got Easter is on its way next, I think. So that would be, I think that's the next big thing. I'm wondering whether I want to actually, I think I do. I want to use that after all. I was a bit hesitant about using that. So we've got Easter on our way. On its way, should I say. So I can't remember whether they said it's early this year or late this year. I get a little bit confused about why it moves around. I mean, surely it's set on a certain date, but apparently it's not, and I've never quite understand why Easter moves. We've got Mother's Day coming up here in the UK soon. Is it soon? Yeah, I think it's not far off. However, because I used to live abroad, I always used to take a lot of ribbing from my family because they'd always blame me for missing Mother's Day. And to be honest with you, I didn't miss it. It just happened that Mother's Day in America is on a different day. So I was always forgiven at the end, obviously, because then when it became American Mother's Day, I used to send Mum something then. So I wasn't, they just jokingly did it. But, you know, it's another one of those, no one's actually said we all have to be on the same page, as it were. Right, looking around, I did have this one, and I think this is too big for this because I'm going to put the flower pieces in. This here needs sorting in some way, and I'm wondering whether there's another piece of this digital I want to use, like maybe that bit there. If I took that out, or if I took it out without tearing it at a bizarre angle, that would fit down there quite nicely. So I just want to tidy up that edge a little bit because I've made a right mess of it by tearing it at a weird angle. And let's put that one in. There you go. So So where are your favourite places in the world? If you were going to have your dream location to go away, where would it be? What would it be? Just let me know. And then, I mean, obviously, because comments are past, I can't really discuss it. But I can certainly bring the subject up, and it'd be interesting to find out where everyone thinks is the place they want to be in the world. I must admit, for me, I'm a huge, huge lover of Alaska. I've been there several times when I used to work for the cruise ship companies as an entertainer many years ago. I must have done, I want to say 14 years of going to Alaska every season, and I absolutely used to love it. I'm thinking about putting just a strip of this right down there. And I used to love it. And I don't know why. I mean, if I was younger, and I was able to, I'm not sure what the legal things are about what I'm going to say, I would actually consider moving to Alaska. And I don't know whether it's like the idyllic living in the middle of the wilderness thing for me. I think for me it's more a case of it's just so beautiful. I mean, if I could walk out and look at Alaska every morning, believe me, I would consider myself majorly lucky. Yes, I know the weather can be absolutely dire in the winter, and I'm sure most of the residents probably go down to Seattle or Vancouver for the winter, because it is, actually that's a nice, actually no, because I've got flowers going on here. I don't know whether I could do all year round, but I could definitely live there for the majority of the season. It just, do any of you live in Alaska? I just thought, because of course internet is all over the world. I always seem to forget that, don't I? So where are you, and is Alaska somewhere you live? And tell me, is it as beautiful as I think it would be? So I'm just going to take a little strip there, because I just want to put one strip down there, if I can tear this. I've had some amazing experiences with the wildlife in Alaska too. I've been so lucky. I've seen whales. I've seen the Northern Lights umpteen times. It's amazing. If you ever get a chance to see the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis, I believe it's called, take it. They are truly magical to see. That you just stand there and look at them. You can't. Well, I couldn't comprehend what they were. They were truly magical. Okay, let's put this to one side, because I'm now going to stamp some of the stuff in here. I'm slightly nervous about stamping, because if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Now, I don't know whose stamp set this is. I can't actually tell you where I ordered it, although most of my stuff I order on Amazon anyway. So I don't know whose stamp kit it is to start with. So a trick I have learnt, though, if you've got a piece that's, what would I call these? A clear stamp, lay it down on something and then press the stamp block onto it, because if you try and lay it down on here, you could easily distort it. So especially if it's something that's got thinner pieces onto it, just do that. Now I'm thinking I might want to put keys here. Let's pull that over so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to put, I think, 3 keys there. I know it's that 3 thing again, but hopefully by now you understand me and know me. Oh, that's actually not bad. Okay, I was a little worried that I didn't know what I was doing. I probably have part of the keys will get covered up anyway. I'm going to clean my thing off on my book, just stamp it out. So I'm just stamping it out just to clean off. I'm quite pedantic about cleaning my stamps, and then I'll go through a phase of not cleaning my stamps. Let's see what else I was going to say to you. Let's put that back on the clean thing. I don't know about you, but I always find with my archivals, I store them upside down, and I always feel that means that my glue pads are always nice and juicy when I use them. I'm not sure whether you're supposed to. Not sure whether I learned that from someone else, but that's what I tend to do with them, is I store them upside down. Right, we're on the inking mode at the moment, so I'm going to take oh, that's the wrong one. I'm going to use fern green because I think this is quite herbs and spices, or herbs anyway, and I quite like this colour. This is, oh, I don't know what this one's called. It's a Tim Holtz. The number is THS032. I think it's called Flourishes or something. It's one of my favourites. I do like using flourishes on stuff. So I'm going to use one of these brushes. So I'm just going to put this on. Now, I don't want this so much that this is all I see, but I do want little patches of this on here just to bring it up. So I'm going to choose areas like this here, which have got nice lines in the background. See, that's just subtle enough for me, and I love that. Let's do a little bit over here. I'm feeling that this needs a little bit of help as well. It'll probably show up brighter because it's white, which isn't a problem. There you go. Thinking this area here probably needs a bit as well. Just down by there. I like doing this in my planner as well, and my journals when I work in them. Actually, if I turn it over, I can get it to go up there. I think if I do that whole strip, then we're done. So I do try to use sponges when I do a lot of my work, but I found I get a better result and I do less damage to my stencils by using one of these makeup brushes. Now, after I finish this video, I'll clean this up with a bit of a wet wipe. You don't need to be watching me clean stuff. So there you go. So that's just added little bits on there. So what have I got left? Herbs and spices. Those are herbs, they're coming up. Handwriting, we've got handwriting. Ink, we've just done inking and inking, that's not a problem. Circles, I've got circles. Illustration, the illustrations are there. Bonus was a key, stamped my keys. Right, now, actually, I just want to trim this off because, you know, when you can just see something out of the corner of your eye, that's what that was. And it was just beginning to make me fixate on it all the time, that little bit overhang. Right, let's leave that there a second while we pull in the little bottles of herbs. And I found these in a magazine, so I was quite happy, and it was a fluke, I can tell you, that I found them. Ooh, now are any of them different? Actually, I quite like the fact that that one's got a string around it. This one's got a string around it. I'm feeling they're a little bit lost. I think these aren't going to work, but these might. I quite like that page as it is. I'm wondering whether I should just line those three up on there. For some reason it feels like it's not completely complete, but it does feel like it's almost complete. I'm going to put these two in the box because I've got a feeling I'm going to use these again in the future. I quite like them. And this here just needs a little bit more fussy cutting as far as I'm concerned. I must have been lazy when I did that, because I think I can probably cut that a lot more attractive. And take that little bit out of there, and it's gone. Right, so I wonder whether I want to, maybe I want to distress ink the edges of this. So I was hoping not to have to do distress inking very often, but I do think even if I just dab it on there, it'll just help outline, because these were quite the pale background, quite the pale coloured bottles. I think that'll just help define them a little bit. So, yeah, I do like distressing the edges of stuff, but I also find that I have to pull myself back, because I will distress the edges of everything and then I'll end up with something where my project looks almost dirty because I've over distressed it. So okay, I think I can get away with that. I think that will help them. I'm not going to distress around the edges of the stuff. I'm wondering which one looks best. Where I like the paint pots, so, and I quite like that on that background. So I think clean book page. Just move that over slightly so I can get the book page in. I'm not even going to take a chance with that one, because if these things rip, they are really going to rip. So glue stick time. And let's just hope I don't tear it, because I really want it to be perfect. So I think if I pull it almost down to the bottom of the page as if they're sat down there, I think that will be fine. Don't use your fingers, Griffiths, they're dirty, and you know you're going to tear stuff. Right, that's that. Now, if you're placing something in threes, guys, a really good trick is to do one side, then the other side, and then put the one in the middle. And you will find if you do that, you're going to space them far better than you would if you actually tried spacing them 1, 2, 3. Or at least that's my experience, let's put it that way. So I'm going to come across here, slip that in there, move it until, I don't mind if I have to trim the edges off a little bit, but I don't want to trim off too much. I think I might have just got that in the right place. Yeah, I can just take those tiny, tiny edges off and that won't bother me. And then I'm just going to put the one in the middle, so let's get rid of that one more time and get this stuck down. And then this way I can put this one right in the middle there. And I'm happy with that. Right. As I said, I just need to trim off these little pieces here. So, oh, for those of you who've been watching my weekly challenges, I don't know whether you read in the description. Do you remember this spread from last week? When we finished, I hadn't added that image. I found that image later and put it in, and I think that actually gave me the other bit of pink that I was looking for. So there you go. Right, now let's have a look. What else have we got? Herbs are on there, fragrant plants are on there, handwriting's on there, ink is on there, circles are on there, illustration on there, keys are on there. I think it's all on there. However, I do think I need something. I feel I want something there, and I'm looking at this butterfly, but I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to. Could I fussy cut that, do you think? Ooh, Ceri goes rogue. Ceri's fussy cutting something. I'm not the greatest at fussy cutting, as we know, so I am going to distress the end of this, edge of this. So, now remember, as I said before, if you are fussy cutting, it's easier to hold the scissors straight and then turn the paper, which is what I try to do when I fussy cut. You will also notice I go very quiet when I'm fussy cutting. I think it's called concentration. So I obviously don't want to mess this up. Now, when I see people fussy cut butterflies, by the way, I very often see them take their time to try and cut the antennae out as well at the top. Because they're so very, very fine, I tend to cut the antennae off and then I draw them in afterwards. I just get a really fine brown or black pen, and then I will just draw them in afterwards, which is, for me, a far better result than having a thin bit of printed matter with a big wide piece of white around it. And as I've said in previous videos, guys, sorry it's not the most accurate, but I'm cutting looking through an iPad. Not fun. Not my choice, I can tell you. Well, it is my choice because obviously I'm doing it. But currently I don't have another choice that works for me. So I think that's acceptable. Let's get rid of all the debris off there. See, I think that, which way will he fly? Will he fly into the image? No, he needs to fly out of the image. And what I'll do is, where do I want to put him? I think about there. I'm just going to do a bit of vintage photo around the edge just to cover up any white edges of paper. I've got a clean sheet of paper. No, I don't have a clean sheet of paper. I'm just going to glue this little one up. And I do feel I want to put them in about there. Use my card. I like that. That's kind of subtle, but it's kind of there. Right, where's a pen? I've just got a, this is a number 5. It's a fine marker, so I'm just going to come in. And just put the antennae in. I don't mind if those are hand drawn. I quite like that, So I think we're done, guys. I think we've done it, and I've not even heard my timer go off. How about that? And I've not turned it off, I can assure you. Oh, look at that. 1 minute to go. There you go. There you go. Turned it off. So I hope you enjoyed that one. What are we on next? We're on week 9. Now I'm hoping by next week, when I do this one, all of my previous videos will have loaded up because the Wi-Fi will have been finished. I will be able to come on here. It's probably going to be a long one, week 9, because it'll give me the chance to say hello and hi around the world to anyone who's left me a comment. I can answer any questions as well. So looking forward to that one. So let's just get the business side of this done. So here you go, social media links as ever. I would love to see you out and about there. I'd love you to like me, follow me, share these videos. I would love to reach a wider audience, obviously. And don't forget, I have got an Etsy shop if you want any digital downloads. That's where I usually put most of my creations on there. And this is Ceri the Crafter saying goodbye. Ceri the Crafter. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.